or sit back, relax and enjoy the show.
The fairy tale is complete. The Central Coast Mariners, champions of Australia.
The Battle of Sydney's West, Chapter 10, to be played out at a boiling Campbelltown Stadium on Dharawal land in Sydney's southwest. It's Macarthur FC versus Western Sydney Wanderers. Both sides looking to hitch their wagon to the leading trio if they can pick up all 3 points this evening. The Bulls, in their traditional black and white stripes, undefeated in their last 5. Undefeated since a 3-1 loss against Western Sydney Wanderers, but they've won just 1 of their last 8, having been sitting top of the table after 7 matches this term. For Western Sydney, well, they also started the season with a flourish, but the last 8 matches have been 4 wins and 4 losses. If that trend continues, it could be the home side that are smiling at the end of 90 minutes. The Wanderers may have won 3 and drawn 2 of their last 5 meetings against Macarthur, but they have never won here in Campbelltown, the home of the Bulls and the Cowbells. Win probability, it's pretty even between these two that sit 4th and 5th in the standings, separated by just 2 points. Macarthur can climb above Western Sydney if they can get back to winning ways at home. Well, let's have a look at the starting lineups then. 2 changes for Mile Sturjovski's team, where Keely Adamson returns from injury at the expense of Yanni Nicolaou at right back. And after 2 appearances from the bench, New Zealand international Clayton Lewis is back in the 11 as Jake Holman drops out. Otherwise, the front 3 of Raphael, Jet Drew and Valère Germain are unchanged for a 3rd game in a row, with Uli Davila in the number 10 role. The Mexican maestro has 5 career goals against Western Sydney, as well as 5 in his last 3 A-League matches. Well, for Western Sydney Wanderers, Marco Rudan's team have built their success this season on their rock-solid defence, the best in the land. But with Alex Bonatic injured and Aidan Simmons suspended, there are changes in the back 4 for the first time in 7 matches, as Tom Beedling and Tate Russell both return. And speaking of returns, the influential midfielder Jorrit Hendricks, the Dutchman, is back after a month out. He replaces Josh Brillante in the middle of the park. While up front, Marcus Antonsen has 5 goals, but none in his last 4. The last one came in a 3-1 win over Macarthur. There's also on the bench for Western Sydney Milos Ninkovic, who announced his imminent retirement from the game. His farewell tour could start today from the bench, while Lawrence Thomas is also back on the bench just 24 hours after returning from Qatar with the Socceroos. And there we can see Matt Yerman, 205th A-League match for him today. 3 career goals. The first one came in 2014 against the Western Sydney Wanderers. He was wearing sky blue that day, but he'd exchange another goal for a clean sheet. They have none in their last 8 matches, Macarthur. Well, there is Nick Milanovic, the 22-year-old, who has 3 goals this term, 9 career goals. 2 of them have come against Macarthur, including his first ever. That was when he was wearing the colours of Western United. But he's got to walk a tightrope today. He's sitting on 4 yellow cards, one of 3 players who will be suspended if they pick up a booking today. And we are all set for a start in the southwest. There is Mile Sturjovski, the former Socceroo, took over midway through last season, replacing Dwight York at the helm. They finished rock bottom last year, but it has been some turnaround for him so far. And Marco Rudan, the man from Sydney's West, who has made it a personal mission to bring silverware to the red and black of Sydney. Adam Kersey takes charge of this one. He is being assisted by Andrew Lindsay and Hugh Fenton-White. Tim Danascus is the fourth official. Alex King and Lara Lee are in the VAR room. The final match of a prolific round 15 so far in the Isuzu Ute A-League gets underway with the battle of Sydney's West. The Bulls versus the Wanderers, and places in the top four up for grabs. Daniel McBreen, it's been a big weekend, and this one promises plenty between these two sides, playing not only for regional dominance, but also places in the six.
Well, that's right, Robbie. Macarthur almost become a draw specialist in recent weeks. The Melbourne Victory have more, and it's all about consistency for the Wanderers as they go on the attack.
Very early and looking for that elusive early goal through Antonsen. They have a remarkable record in the last 2 months of win-loss, and repeat. 8 matches in a row, exchanging results. No back-to-back wins since November for Marco Rudan's side, when they beat Perth Glory and then Sydney FC in the derby. Clisby, he was looking for Jorrit Hendricks. His return is important, but those two combining already. Davila for Germain. The ball finds its way to Vujica. Now Raphael, confronted by a wall of Western Sydney Wanderers players. They're a transition side. Oh, as Keely Adamson had to lunge in. That's a good run in behind from Jed Drew. 2 to aim for in the middle. Drew looks up, drives it in low, palmed out by Margouche. Germain gets there first and trying to catch Marcelo unawares with a quick cross. Is out for a goal kick.
Well, it's a nice run from Jed Drew. Gets him behind on that right-hand side. Just has a little look here, but Western Sydney does well. Lots of white shirts back. Daniel Margouche got down with the parry out. An early warning sign really there for Western Sydney. The best defence in the league, but Jed Drew found it quite easy to get him behind there.
Now, Lockie Brook looking to charge forward. Rafael Borges Rodriguez looking to get forward down the left-hand side. His dad, the Brazilian Cristiano, who played for Adelaide. Rafael got his A-League debut with Melbourne City before joining Macarthur this season. Bacchus spent 4 seasons at Western Sydney, 62 appearances, no goals. In his second season back in Australia after a spell with Kaiser Chiefs in South Africa. He's already got a couple of goals for Macarthur, one in the AFC Cup and one in the A-League as well. Tate Russell. A little bit more communication at the back. He did well after losing the initiative against Raphael.
Important game for Tate Russell. He started off the season and then lost his spot to Hayden Simmons. It's an opportunity with Simmons suspended. It's been a little while since he's had a start. He'll be looking for a good performance tonight. Raphael and Drew have been very good for Macarthur in those wide areas, so he'll definitely be tested.
Here comes Jed Drew again, and look at Germain, free in the middle, and the ball just too far ahead of him. And the flag was up for offside anyway.
Well, just as I was saying, Jed Drew and Raphael have been good for Macarthur in wide areas. Been a little too early on that occasion, but lots of space in that Macarthur backline in wide areas.
No Alex Bonatig at the back. You mentioned Tate Russell coming in for Aidan Simmons. Tom Beadling there in for Alex Bonatig. But we saw the Mariners target that left-hand side of the Wanderers' defence as well earlier this season. With Jack Clisby there. That's a good ball. Into feet, Milanovic. There's Badalato. Here's the switch of play now. With Russell. Priestman. Lockie Brook now. Little 1-2 with Antonsen. Stays on his feet. He's got Milanovic wide on the left. Clisby with Badalato. Now Milanovic. Running at Adamson. First corner of the match in favour of the away side. They are good from corners. They are excellent in the air. Western Sydney. More headed goals than any other side. 8 so far this term. And Marcelo could have had 1 or 2 more as well. Including against Perth, where it was put down as an own goal after it came back off the post and hit Ollie Sale. Now taken short. This is a nice move. Clisby's there. He clips it in towards the back post. And driven back in then from Jorrit Hendricks. There was a falling player in the box who was wailing.
Well, I think it was Antonsen. You could hear the squeals as he thought he was brought down. Just get another look here. You can see just gets a little nudge in the back, doesn't he? Not sure if it's too much. Can't get it on that angle, but I think it was Matt Yerman. Just a little bump in the back as they look to make forward progress.
No advantage played, so Adam Kersey's bringing it back for a free kick in favour of Macarthur FC. The switch for Raphael, not dealt with, but Tate Russell only finds the mercurial Uli Davila. Free kick's taken quickly. Davila was still writhing in agony on the ground. Beadling's header. Billy Adamson arriving late on the scene, right in front of the travelling support, and now Marcelo looking to get involved. It's Milanovic who was sent tumbling. Oli Davila's back on his feet, and there's a little bit of spice in this one early.
Yeah, there is. There's the challenge earlier on Oli Davila. Lockie Brook just collecting the ankle, and then comes in really late there, doesn't he? Gets the knee up. I don't think the knee caught flush, but it was a dangerous challenge. Travelling RBB making plenty of noise.
Keely Adamson with the tightrope to walk now with that yellow card. And he's straight up against Milanovic again. Adamson, who's only just signed his first pro contract. He played through the FA Cup with Sydney FC all the way to the final. But they didn't sign him up in the end. So when the opportunity presented itself, he headed across town and signed up for Macarthur. Davila with Bacchus. It was a strong challenge from Badalato. Here's Uzkok with Yerman. Clayton Lewis. He looks up and releases Jed Drew again. Oh, and there's been another player flattened. It's Priestman who's been caught by Uli Davila.
I think Uli Sutherland must have just collected the legs of Priestman in back play, stopping him getting back in defence.
Hendricks. Hendricks hasn't played since the 1-0 loss to the Mariners a month ago. Tate Russell with the throw towards Antonsen. Macarthur began their career with a fantastic record against Western Sydney. It wasn't the Western Sydney they are today under Marco Rudan, and the tables have most certainly turned, but with a loss and 2 draws, they're still looking for a first ever win here. Oh, it's Philip Curto. Normally such a good punch of the football as well, came for that one and it just came off the top of the gloves.
Well, it wasn't that bad of a ball from Tate Russell, and I think just the run of Antonsen across the front may have just caught the eye of Curto as he came out. Didn't get it clean at all, did he?
Made more saves than any other goalkeeper this season, Philip Curto. Macarthur have conceded more shots than any other team, and it stands to logic, more shots at goal as well if he's made more saves than any other team, mind you. They still have the worst defence of any side in the top 6. Hendricks chips it back post. Marcelo, it's a good effort. Back across the face of goal. And it may just have been going wide, but it was some desperate defending anyway. And there is the threat that the Wanderers captain poses from those set pieces as Hendricks lets fly again. Blocked by Yerman. Bacchus loses out immediately. It's driven back in. Tom Beadling, who'd stayed forward, has won another corner.
Well, let's just have a look at this as Marcelo heads the ball back across. He's looking for a teammate back on that near post, and it's Keely Adamson who does just enough. He gets the touch before, I think it's Milanovic is just stealing into that near post. Great defending, Keely Adamson. As you said, did himself no end of good with his performances in the Australia Cup. My understanding is there was no spaces for Sydney to sign him. And that has really been a plus for Macarthur to pick him up.
Now there's some pushing and pulling and dragging in the area. It's driven in hard. Sort of bounced off Tom Beadling, I think. Was driven in ferociously from Badalato, who, that one is over him. Little playmaker in the Western Sydney ranks, wearing the number 37 shirt.
Well, they've scored the most headed goals, Western Sydney, haven't they? And they've shown already today in the opening 13 minutes that they are a threat in that area.
Davila. Valère Germain. Taking a big divot out of the pitch at Campbelltown there as he slipped, looking for that crossfield ball. Now Brook finds Milanovic. Priestman receives from Clisby. That's a good challenge. Badalato, and now Germain releasing the speedster. Jed Drew just invited the challenge from Beadling, and it was a good one. Corner to follow for the home side.
He's been a very willing runner, Jed Drew again. Getting down that right-hand side, Beadling covering well. Didn't have too much support really in the middle, had to slow down and wait.
Frenchman Germain, with 7 goals and 3 assists this season, has been been lively in these opening 15 minutes. Clayton Lewis drives the ball back post, and it had Margouche scrambling a little bit there. Kept in by Adamson. He's involved in everything at the moment as well.
Well, that was a dangerous ball, wasn't it? They did everyone at the near post. All bodies went to the front.
Now it's going to be Bacchus from this other side with another in-swing at near post. Davila's header. Oh, off the crossbar. Jet Drew drives it back in. And it's going to be another corner. Well, he doesn't get many headed goals, Uli Davila. But he almost caught out everyone there.
Well, it was almost in slow motion, wasn't it? Everybody was just watching and hoping one way or another. Would it drop in? Would it go over? It's back off the crossbar, and another opportunity now for Macarthur.
Bodies being buffeted around inside the 6-yard box. Again, it's got plenty of whip on it. Was there a hand there? Penalty! There was! Well, it was bouncing off heads. Was it Jack Clisby? Perhaps Tom Beedling coming across to plead his case. They are going to check it.
Well, let's have another look here. Margouche was the one who got up and got a hand for me, and it's, yeah,
Beedling.
See there. Second look, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? The arms up and away. And look at the Macarthur players straight away. Valère-Germain had the perfect view. Yeah, there's not much you can say to argue that.
Well, I think Beedling's saying there was a foul on me.
Yeah, maybe saying he was pushed or pulled.
No, penalty confirmed. Have a look here at Uzcock.
Yeah, I can't see a foul in that for mine. When I say a foul, sorry, I mean a foul on Beedling, enough to warrant that being overturned. I do
saw
see
another foul.
I did see the hand hit the ball, yes.
And that's a penalty specialist in Valère-Germain to step up here. He's scored 2 late penalties in the last 3 matches, and he goes straight down the middle again to give Macarthur the lead in the 18th minute, his 8th goal of the season. The Frenchman proving a real hit with Macarthur FC, and he has them in front here with something to defend against Western Sydney.
Well, Harvey Norman replay, straight down the middle, waits for the keeper to move. Doesn't mind going down the middle, he's gone down that position a few times in the past. You see there, as Margouche just picks away, just passes it down the middle, and they're pumped. West Sydney derby. First blow goes to Macarthur.
8 goals in 16. He's got a hatful of goals in the AFC Cup as well. Macarthur will be back in action in that competition against Sabah FC in 10 days' time. The Mariners also still involved in continental football, as here's Badalato, Milanovic. The Wanderers looking for an immediate reply. And they almost found it as well.
Well, it has the feeling that there's plenty of goals in this game, isn't it? Both teams have looked dangerous with crosses into the box.
Another one in, it's over. Antonsen, Raphael and Yeoman get it clear. Hey, Russell's done well, he's fouled by Raphael. Macarthur looking to rejoin the best attack in the land. It's the Mariners at the moment after their 4-goal haul yesterday, who have 31 goals scored. Macarthur take their tally to 28 now. Amazingly, second from bottom, Perth Glory have the second best attack in the land. Jorrit Hendricks, ball in. Headed away by Yerman again, who's patrolling the back post at every opportunity, Matt Yerman. Macarthur have become the first side to open the scoring 10 times this season. As here's Antonsen, they could be pulled back here. It's that combination again. Antonsen for Lockie Brook, just as it was a week ago in Tasmania. And it's another clinical first-time finish from Lockie Brook. They weren't behind for long, the Wanderers.
Well, it was Lockie Brook who got the 3 points last week with their only shot on target. And that was a wonderful finish. It was turned over on the Harvey Norman replay, and they just couldn't get back quick enough, Macarthur. Antonsen was calm, cool and collected as Yorick Hendricks plays the ball forward, and look at the support play, draws in the defender, and that's a quality finish from Lockie Brook. We said it felt like it might have more goals in it. Well, Western Sydney have provided that early. It was just a little too easy for Macarthur's liking, wasn't it? Simply one high up from Western Sydney, and they've made Macarthur pay.
What a season it's been for Lockie Brook. He got too early in the campaign when Western Sydney put Western United to the sword. He also scored 5 in a cup game, his first appearance for Western Sydney. Now Uli Davila complaining he's been fouled again by Priestman, and even Mile Sturjovski getting a little worked up on the side of the pitch.
You don't see that very often, do you? I think he might have a point. Now he's asking for a yellow card. I think Oscar Priestman may have got away with one there, as Uli Davila was looking to break forward. He's just stopped the play with a professional foul.
It's not only a professional foul, it's an awkward fall. Uli Davila is a very dangerous player that needs to be kept tabs on by opposition sides, and regular fouling is a way of doing that. Now Lewis looking for Davila. Oh, it's not a bad ball. Now Margouche has spilt that, and he's claimed it at the second attempt. Now Beadling has fallen with Germain. Now he's received a stray boot.
Well, Uli Davila looked like he walked over and then stomped on him. I don't know if I've just seen that wrong with the angle.
With Germain, who went flying in.
So let's have a look here. I don't think there's anything too wrong in this here. They're both going for the ball. For me, that's a natural collision. They've both gone flying in. Now, if we can keep this rolling here. What's going on here with Uli Davila? No, yeah, sorry. I thought that right foot had come down on it, and that's what had created the injury. Well, I don't see anything wrong in that initial challenge. And then it's just bodies are everywhere, isn't it, running into each other, and a little bit of a tangle off camera there.
Exactly. No, I think it is off camera now. Referee has spotted something though. He wants to have a word to Valère Germain. Well, Marcelo is just upping the ante a little bit because he thinks there was something more untoward in that challenge from Valère Germain. Might see it from here.
This will be a better angle, won't it? So there, they're all gone in.
It's after, it's here.
There. Well, yeah, well, he's lashed out, hasn't he? I don't think there's any question there that the right foot lashes out into the midriff.
Yeah, he's lucky to get away with that one, I think. Just as play gets back underway, so once there's been a stoppage, once play has resumed, the jurisdiction for VAR lapses. Germain was looking for Jed Drew. Well, 2 goals and a whole lot of drama already midway through the first half. Milanovic, he goes down under the challenge from Jed Drew. Yeah, Uli Davila does look like he's limping a little bit.
Well, it's fair to say there has been a few robust challenges in this opening 25 minutes. Certainly has a feel of a derby about it, doesn't it? Both coaches up, prowling, talking to the fourth official.
Now Hendricks, that left boot in again. Oh, missed by Germain. Milanovic back across the face of goal and claimed by Curto. Back again with Yerman, who looks long towards Germain. Got there ahead of Marcelo, who looked around a little surprised to see who had beaten him to a header. Oh, now a little bit more there. Kieran Backus on Jorrit Hendricks. That's nice football, Brook, for Priestman. Just a little over-ambitious, looking for Marcus Antonsen. Antonsen, who's, I mentioned during the lineups, without a goal in his last 4 matches. Goals have proved a little harder to come by in recent weeks for Western Sydney, but Brandon Borrello was named in the extended squad for this match, which suggests that that broken foot is just about healed. And they will be hoping their Socceroos striker is back and available perhaps as early as next week. They've also announced the signing of Sonny Kittle. There he is, Brandon Borrello, sitting in the stands alongside Josh Brillante, who's there. And Valentino Yule as well, who's also sidelined today.
I'm sure Brandon Borrello is sick of seeing those pictures of himself sitting in the stand. He'll be itching to get out there. As you say, he was named in the extended squad. We were all hoping and thinking he may have been on the bench for some minutes, but another week he'll have to wait.
Marcelo, long ball, it's a good one. It's a nice first touch as well from Antonsen. Trying to bring the ball down, not an easy one.
Well, Matt Yerman did well there, recovered. He looked like he was beaten for a brief moment. See the good run there. Marcelo does play that ball really well, doesn't he? Just for a brief moment, you thought Antonsen was going to bring that ball down and get his body across. But Yerman recovered well, got the foot in. That was enough to stifle the attack.
That's given away cheaply by Adamson. It was an ill-advised pass. And Western Sydney couldn't make him pay. Good save, Curto again, as here's Lockie Brook. He drives the cross back in, the header, and it's in from Milanovic. The Western Sydney boy says this is his turf. Milanovic with his 4th of the season. And after trailing early, Western Sydney hit the front just before the half hour.
Well, again, Macarthur causing their own problems, giving the ball away in their own back third. And on the Harvey Norman replay, Curto does well with the first save. There's plenty of time for Macarthur to get set and get their defence in order. But look at Milanovic at the back post. It's a wonderful ball across. And he just stands in that space all alone, unmarked, and has the time to pick it. His spot with the header. Lockie Brook, little inside and out. He says, right, on your head, son. Tucks it in that bottom corner. Curto may be a little bit disappointed with not being able to get a hand on it. Get a better look at it at this angle. Yeah, I think that's something that Philip Curto will look back at and won't be happy, but Western Sydney Wanderers, they won't care. Milanovic, he cares not a jot. This is our house.
That's now his 3rd career goal against Macarthur, his 10th in total. his preferred prey. He had to generate all that power himself out of that header, didn't he? It was precise, but I concur that perhaps Courteau will feel he could have done a little bit better. He's been one of the keys to Macarthur's success as well, Philip Courteau. It was a very good save just seconds before.
Well, Philip Courteau will be looking at his defender. He won't be happy with himself, but he'll be looking at his defender saying you had enough time to get organised and pick up players. Milanovic.
Oh, let's look at the space here. Davila finding Raphael. Raphael shoots. Oh, good stop. Marcouche with his right boot. Just keeping that out. Davila was looking for him twice. He found him the second time. There was no one at home again for Western Sydney. Well, he's a marked man. Uli Davila. Cock back to Philip Courteau. Here's Yeoman. The press comes from Western Sydney. Vujica up the line with Clayton Lewis. That's a good ball. He had to change his ideas there. Germain back for Raphael. This is nice football from Macarthur. Jet Drews at the back post. Raphael still. Oh, that's quality. What composure. It was like a game of chicken. Who blinks first? And it was Raphael who held his cool for, in the end, the most simple of finishes. Well,
we said there may be more goals and they've had a feeling of more goals, but Valère-Germain on the Norman replay does fantastically well, and this is great. Just drives towards the goal. And we've talked about teams in the past maybe overplaying and trying to dribble into the goal. Well, Raphael takes it literally. Daniel Marcouche falls for the dummy, thinks he's going to square it, and he just side-foots it into the empty goal. Unbelievable. Jack Clisby sells himself, Marcouche the same. Raphael couldn't believe his luck. I'll just pass that into an empty net.
Well, it's his third goal of this season. The first two both came in two different matches against Brisbane. And his move north to Sydney from Melbourne City is starting to pay dividends as well. He's made that place on the left flank his own in recent weeks. Well, these two cannot be split again.
Well, it's all credit to Valère-Germain as well. When you look at the shots we've had already in the match.
Well, let's head down to Tristan McManus, because Tristan, we know it's hot there in Campbelltown, but the temperature's still rising.
Oh, it definitely is. It's hotter on the pitch here. What a fantastic start to this game. I thought it was going to kind of fall a little bit flat just because it's so hot, and we know how fast these teams like to break at, how quick they are, and dictating tempos. Wow. What a start to the game so far. I thought Raphael held onto the ball a little bit too long. I wouldn't be having that Clisby defending. Granted, I haven't played the game before, but I think you want a little bit better from him from there. And Macarthur, as we all, probably should be down for 10 minutes.
Well, that's right. Valère-Germain perhaps dodged a bullet here as Jet Drew looks up. Raphael was running near post. Western Sydney, who won't be adding to their 7 clean sheets this season, but they'll be certainly looking to put the brakes on, because this is a deluge of chances they're conceding compared to usual for them. Spoke about the changes at the back. No Aidan Simmons, no Alex Bonitic. Jorrit Hendricks returning in the middle of the park as well. With that experience, the former PSV Eindhoven man. To shore things up. There's still 11 minutes to go, plus stoppages in the first half. It's 2-2. And when you talk about this match being the attacking guile and skill of the likes of Davila and Germain against the steely defence of Marcelo and co. We'd have to say at the moment it's the home side that are coming out on top. They have scored in all but one of their matches this season. That's a better record than any other side in the competition. The only side that managed to keep them scoreless are sitting top of the table, Wellington Phoenix. Lewis. It's just bundled over Oscar Priestman. Marcelo looks back. They are devastating in that transition football, Macarthur. Clisby looking to make amends perhaps for being beaten so comfortably by Raphael on the goal, trying to dribble his way through. And the former Wanderer backers not impressed by that free kick award.
Well, he's been very physical for Macarthur in the middle of the park, hasn't he? Hasn't shirked the challenge.
Set piece for the set piece specialists. It's driven in straight. It took a little flick off the wall as well. No problem for Curto that time. Oh. Another nervy little moment there for Keely Adamson. Gone anywhere. Off the wall, in the end straight at Philip Curto. It's a good switch of play for Tate Russell. Turns inside Vujicic too easily. Still Russell shoots, pokes at goalwards more than anything. And it was blocked. Now Raphael is there again. It falls for Lewis. He's been excellent in his return to the starting 11, and it's a yellow card for Rocky Battolato.
Well, there was no arguing that one, was there? Almost went for a pony ride. Here's the good work from Tate Russell. He looked like the moment was lost, and he got a little bit fortuitous as the ball came back to him, and here it is. Battolato, 2 arms around the shoulders. Thought he was about to mount and jump on and go for a ride.
Russell again with Priestman. That's a good challenge from Bacchus. Raphael Germain didn't think that was intended for him, I suspect. Here's Battolato with Priestman. The young box-to-box midfielder finds Lockie Brook. Cuts inside Vujicic. Was trying it from a long way out. Clisby now. Battolato with Marcelo. That's a great ball to the back post again, just too much on it for Antonsen.
He does make good little runs off the shoulders of centre-backs, doesn't he? Antonsen, saw one earlier. Marcelo found him. Matt Yerman scrambling back. On occasion it was just a couple of inches too high.
Well, in 6 of their 7 wins this season, Western Sydney have scored first and kept a clean sheet. Now they've come from behind in this one. But they're conceding goals. Unusual for them. This game is more a typical Macarthur match so far. It's towards Germain. who jumps. Jed Drew gets there. Back for Germain. Little 1-2. Jed Drew hits it. Saved by Margouche. Still the shots come.
It was nice, wasn't it? Again, Germain in the thick of it. Jed Drew just coming in off the wing to support. Gets a strike away. Straight down the throat of Margouche. Gets it on the second attempt.
Margouche under pressure from Davila. It's a cool ball out in the end for Clisby, but he's under pressure. He's done that pretty well too. Now Battolato can turn. Only Antonsen ahead of him. He rides the first challenge of Bacchus. Space on this right-hand side with Lockie Brook. Miscontrol, but Russell is there. His cross. Just too much on it. Wasn't a bad idea towards Antonsen. It's kept in by Milanovic. Keely Adamson runs it away with Jed Drew now. Again, Germain coming deep. Looking for the ball, then spraying it out wide for Raphael. Overlapping run from Vujica. Gets it a little fortuitously, perhaps. Now he has it again with Davila. Davila just making that half a yard, even less, needed to get the cross in. Nice turn away from Bacchus by Battolato. Here's Milanovic now. There's space in front of him if he can take on Adamson. Priestman with Russell. Such an open match of football. Both sides looking to press, but then being played through, drop back.
Well, it's been highly entertaining, hasn't it? Both teams giving everything they've got.
That's great control again from Antonsen. The ball! Oh, it's a third! I see your two and raise you another. Lockie Brook with another headed goal after Milanovic. And this crazy match of football continues. There's still 3 minutes to go in the first half, and it's Western Sydney 3, Macarthur 2.
Well, the entertainment keeps coming on the Harvey Norman replay. Chalk up goal number 10 with the head for Western Sydney Wanderers for the season. And it's a wonderful run from Lockie Brook. Antonsen with the great work out on the left. Wonderful ball in. Lockie Brook goes in between defenders. Gets a glancing header on it. Philip Curto just stands and watches. That is fantastic football from Western Sydney. From the opening ball from Hendricks. The cross from Antonsen. And Lockie Brook with the header. 5 goals, and we've still got a few minutes to go before half-time.
And you just have to take your hat off because it is brilliant attacking football. We've seen some fantastic goals. We've seen a couple of mistakes, and I'm sure the purists that are Marko Rudan and Mile Sturjovski will not be enjoying it as much as we are, perhaps. But it is another thoroughly entertaining match of football, and the goals keep coming in this round as well. That's now 23 goals in less than 5.5 matches in round 15, and there might be more. Ooh. Now Davila going to ground a little too theatrically, perhaps under pressure from Priestman, but again he and Germain were looking to combine in the Western Sydney box. They've played their way through there again very nicely.
Well, we spoke with Tristan about how warm it is down there pitch side. You just wonder, how can these guys keep this tempo, or how long can they keep this tempo going?
Well, that's a good ball. Milanovic off the outside of the post. The flag was up for offside anyway, it wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, drifted a mile offside there. I think everybody knew it as well. See there. Marcelo again, though, Doesn't mind to play those balls, does he? When it's on, he'll play it in behind. He hits for the forward runs.
Here's the little ball over the top for Germain. He wants support from Adamson. The Western Sydney fans are enjoying themselves, and they're on the front foot again here. Antonsen going all the way nearly. A shot just fizzing wide of that top right-hand corner.
Great positive play. Nicks the ball in his own half and he just sets off. Lockie Brook was going like a bat out of hell to try to get there and help him. He went on his own. For Western Sydney Wanderers supporters, it's the wrong side of the post, but what an entertaining half of football these two teams have produced.
It's as if Western Sydney have just thrown off their reputation as a defensive side. And they're doing a very good Macarthur FC impersonation. Macarthur have the second highest XG in both attack and defence. In other words, the second best and the second worst. And at the moment, well, that XG is nearly all square at 1.4 to 1.2. Brilliant display of attacking football from these two sides. And you know, just have to look at the 3-3 draw against Western United a couple of weeks back and Uli Davila's hand-trick to know that a game like this is going to go all the way to the 90 minutes. You've got players like Davila, Lockie Brook, Milanovic on the field. He's hit the crossbar. Uli Davila. He doesn't have his goal yet.
Well, we know the last 15 minutes with Macarthur usually produce goals. 10-4 and 8 against in that last 15-minute period, so he's got plenty of time.
That's nicely done. Jet Drew towards Davila, who got front position on Priestman. That's come off the young midfielder. 2 minutes of stoppage time have elapsed, still 2 to go, so plenty of time to take this corner and then some. Jet Drew and Davila were going to try and take it quickly, but Clayton Lewis comes across now. Now his corners before this have been excellent from this side. And it comes again, just too high for Uzkog. Vujica. Clayton Lewis gets there with Bacchus. Germain again directing traffic. With back to goal. Jet Drew's cross was not the best. Davila, and a rare heavy touch from him with the spinning ball. But another corner to follow.
There was a little comedy of errors there, wasn't it? Beadling with the clearance. Davila with the touch. It was Priestman, was it, with the final clearance? Out that just miscued it as well.
Lewis again. Back post this time. Yerman's there. Heads back. Germain! 3-3! Unbelievable! Well, the goals just keep coming. Lockie Brook with the double, and now Valère Germain with his brace. Anything you can do, I can do better. It's a headed goal for the little Frenchman.
Well, the Harvey Norman replay. What a header from Tomislav Uzkog. He just knew he had to put it back in the dangerous area. Straight back across the goal. And the small Valère Germain just in the right place at the right time. Gets up. Marco Redan will be disappointed that there was no challenge on the initial header. And then that one of the smallest men on the field was able to get up and put the ball away with his head as well. He says, relax, relax. There's plenty of time. We've still got this.
He's loving life in Australia. I spoke to him before a match a couple of weeks back. A big change coming with a young family to Sydney after spending your entire career basically on the Riviera in France, Nice, Monaco, Marseille. But he's loving life, and it's reflected in the football.
Well, he's certainly producing, isn't he? Goals, assists. What a first half of football we've just witnessed.
6 goals in 49 minutes of outstanding attacking football. It's the final match of the round, but there's still plenty more to come in this one. Valère Germain and Lockie Brook with braces on each side of the divide. Nick Milanovic and Raphael, the other goal scorers. The battle for the West is one of the best. It's 3-3 at half-time between Macarthur and Wanderers. Let's head off to a quick break before Daniel Garb and the boys have all the action from the half-time show.
The A-League's Professional Footballers from Australian Football Coaches Australia taking a stand against online bullying in Australian football. There is no place for racism, abuse or hate in our sport. Play it fair. Players are illegal at our venues. If you resist or throw a player, there are severe penalties that apply. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches, and handed over to police for further questioning. Financial fine will also be issued. We ask you to respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. Alright people, let's welcome our half-time Bengals. Tonight we've got the players from Gregory Hills Football Club under 18, Gregory Hills Football Club under 19, and Gregory Hills Football Club under 10 team. Let's make them feel welcome. Deal or no deal is giving away life-changing cash every night this week. Don't miss Deal or No Deal. Granted you 6 p.m. weeknights on 10 and 10 Play.
Liberty Home Loans hit different. They're for the free thinkers, the go-getters, the creatives, the future-free thinker. You'll need right at home. Liberty Loans for free thinkers.
Have you heard? Liberty proudly supports the A-Leagues, the free thinkers, the game changers, and the goal kickers both on and off the field. Bring your lending dreams to life with Liberty. Loans for free thinkers.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu Ute, awarded to the best player of the season as nominated by the Paramount ANZ football team. The winner of the prestigious award will receive $10,000. Plus, the Isuzu Ute Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club of choice to win a brand new, top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX to be announced during the grand final. To stay in touch with the leaderboard, tune in for weekly updates at your home of football.
Let's give our half-time mini balls a round of applause. Well done, everyone. Now is the perfect time to join the herd and become a Bulls member. Membership prices have dropped for the remaining home games for the season. Join today at membership.macarthurfc.com.au.
Liberty Home Loans hit different. They're for the free thinkers, the go-getters, the creatives. So if you're a free thinker, you'll be right at home. Liberty Loans for free thinkers.
You've probably heard the saying, if you can count your real money to one hand, you're doing pretty well. But with a 7-seat Isuzu MUX, you've got room for a couple more. From kicking around the city to kicking back around the campfire, nothing gets you more there in style and custom like the Isuzu MUX. Living your life in the Isuzu MUX.
Find the balance between excitement and adventure in the 7-seat Isuzu MUX. Go your own way.
Welcome back to Campbelltown Stadium, where we have a change in the Western Sydney Wanderers ranks. It's the Socceroo goalkeeper, Lawrence Thomas, who has come on at half-time. Daniel Margouche suffering from concussion, apparently, after a coming together in that opening 45 minutes. It has been a spectacular match of football where we should have expected anything, but I don't think we're expecting a goalkeeping change. Daniel McBreen at half-time, but it's had just about everything so far, so why not?
Yeah, well, it has. It's had action. It's had a little bit of potential controversy. There's been goals. It's been a really hard-fought contest, and if we're going to see something similar in the second half, well, strap yourselves in.
Well, certainly Macarthur only know one way of playing, and that's trying to get forward and score goals. Western Sydney are a side that make no bones about their ambitions this season. They want to go all the way. They want to give Milos Ninkovic the perfect send-off as well. Three-time champion with the crosstown rivals now in his second season with Western Sydney, announcing his retirement this week. And they want to give an A-League legend the send-off that his career most certainly deserves. There he is, Milos Ninkovic. As we see the two sides across the bottom of your screens there. 6 goals in a half of football. Has been done before. A few times, in fact. As here comes Western Sydney onto the front foot again through Milanovic. Defended by Adamson. And an early attacking throw. The Wanderers back onto the front foot early. Hendricks. Milanovic not on the same wavelength that time.
Well, I think Milanovic looked across the line and realised he may have been in an offside position.
Well, Lawrence Thomas, he was on the bench for the Socceroos when they bowed out in the early hours of Saturday morning. Now time here in Australia as Jed Drew looking to put him under pressure early. And after that match, the Socceroos immediately jetting back to their clubs, including the Australian-based Socceroos, although Joe Gauci left an A-League-based player. Won't be coming back, heading to Aston Villa. Lawrence Thomas immediately onto the bench. Not sure he was expecting to play this early, perhaps. But that concussion means that Marco Rudan still has 5 substitutions he can make for his outfield players as well in this second half. Milanovic, Badalato turns back on to the right. Jorrit Hendricks just crowded out, but Jed Drew's gone without it. Hendricks so eager, tackled his own player there, Badalato, but they got away with it. Marcelo. Williamson, I don't think he's kept that in. And the first corner of the second half to the away side, down in front of their travelling supporters, making plenty of noise. Have been a constant source of danger for anyone playing Western Sydney. They've scored from 3, only Sydney FC have scored more from corners this season. It's taken short. Hendricks, now Russell, he crosses towards Marcelo. It took a glancing touch and fell to Clayton Lewis, who was pushed over by Lockie Brook, and another couple of words and sparks fly.
some feeling in this game, isn't there?
Tom Beadling striding forward with Priestman, now Hendricks. That's a good ball for Battolato. Now Lockie Brook, why not? He's been in stunning form so far. Russell's ball to the back post. Milanovic, first time for Antonsen. And cleared behind, and already the goalmouth action is underway in this second half.
Well, that all started from a wonderful ball by Jorrit Hendricks to open up that midfield area. And then little one-touch football. Lockie Brook, confidence is up. Forcing Philip Curto into another save.
In it comes. Back post. Marcelo again. Oh, Antonsen almost snuck in. Davila, lovely touch to bring it down. One way, then the other. Ooh, now it's Beadling who's flown through the back, and it's a straight red card for Tom Beadling. Marcelo is single-handedly taking away the entire Macarthur squad from the area. Uli Davila is down injured. Marcelo's trying to get him back on his feet. But the red card has been brandished. VAR will be having a look at it, but this match has been on a knife edge from those first challenges. Beadling still wants to plead his case. Let's have a look. Well, he slips, doesn't he?
Well, he comes sliding in. Just as he came in the right-hand side there, you see that left knee just comes right through the back of Uli Davila. Just as he slid in there, I think he thought Davila was going to turn toward him, and Davila turned the other way, and he knew, I think, that he'd got it wrong. You can see his face straight away. He knew he was in trouble.
Now this is just a replay, what you're seeing here, of the earlier moments, because we've just been told from VAR that the red card stands. There will be no change there, but they're just having a look at the melee that followed. For me, it's not entirely dissimilar to what happened to Aidan Simmons.
Well, I think Thomas Beadling just walked past and pushed Uli Davila in the head as he was getting treatment, and Uli Davila was saying he had his neck was sore, his head was sore, and he walked past and just pushed him in the head as well.
Cowbells ringing in the ears as Beadling makes his way off.
Well, this was earlier when Marcelo tried to lift him up.
And you see there Uli Davila feeling his neck. Well, while we try and find that picture again, I was saying the red card is similar in the force that Aidan Simmons showed last week on Vidmar, while sliding in again, uncontrolled. It wasn't studs up, it wasn't dangerous in that respect, but as soon as you lose your footing at that pace, straight through the back of a player who can't see it coming, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. As I said, I actually think Beadling saw Davila, thought he was turning towards him and committed himself, and as Davila turned the other way, he knew. And there you go there. It's just a little touch. There was a bit of carry on from the Macarthur players. Davila was carrying on like he got a big slap across the face.
A yellow card for Marcelo. Now, can Macarthur go on with it? We've seen so far this season that playing against 10 men isn't necessarily a surety for picking up 3 points. But Macarthur have decided that it's time to head to the bench, get some fresh legs out there and really make Western Sydney work for this. In it comes, near post. Drew finds Lewis, the ball in, headed away by Marcelo. Well, Marcelo is a big boy already, but I have no doubt now. There's that cross, back post, Drew, oh! Well, it was there for the hitting and he just didn't quite believe it enough.
Well, that was a glorious opportunity, wasn't it? Lovely play from Raphael to find his other winger, and yeah, you see the head go back from Drew. He knew that was a glorious opportunity.
Gabriel Kleur is coming on, and so is Jake Holman. Holman replacing Bacchus. And it's going to be Alex Badalato who makes way for Gabriel Kleur. So that's a defensive change. Gabriel Kleur will just sit in front of the defence, I suspect, alongside Jorrit Hendricks. So you lose a playmaker, but you try and shore things up at the back. Or has he gone into the... No, he's there in midfield. So who's dropped back? Jorrit Hendricks, who has already dropped into the centre of defence this season to cover injuries and otherwise. He's there once again.
For Macarthur, more attacking option. Holman likes to get further forward than Bacchus.
And who scored an absolutely stunning goal against Western Sydney in that 3-1 loss 5 weeks ago. Early ball, clever pass over the top. Lawrence Thomas comes and clears. Had to. The tackles are still flying in. Players diving everywhere. The pitch is starting to look a bit worn and torn as well, like a battlefield between these two sides.
Well, there'll be a few of them sporting the battle scars after this one, won't they? It's been very hotly contested. A lot of feeling in this match.
Here's Raphael with Lewis. Valère Germain with Ivan Vujica looking for the return pass. There were two of them, in fact. Davila gets there. Hendricks. Oh, Davila trying to run him down from behind. Marcelo finds a little bit of space. Coolly done. Germain asking where the midfield is. There's Milanovic. Looks to break forward. Jed Drew back doing the defensive duties to help out Keely Adamson. In Western Sydney, you can see their supporters there. They would love the backs to the wall performance to hang their hats on here in Campbelltown Stadium. They've never won here. They've scored 3 goals and they're still not favourites this evening, with just over half an hour left to play. There's been some entertaining matches here this season as well. 4-3 against Adelaide on a Monday night. In it comes, back post, Antonsen. Well, he didn't attack it.
I thought he could have just swung the left foot at that one. Maybe even ran at it and got the head on it as well, but he seemed to just prop and try to bring it down.
Holman. Referee allows the advantage for that foul on Gabriel Kleur. Now Lockie Brook. Lockie Brook chipping it towards Milanovic. The header towards Antonsen. Who's following in? Brook is there. Antonsen again. Trying to shoot on the turn. And it's up and over the crossbar.
It just wouldn't come down for him. Just wanted to get the shot away on the swivel, and it just a little too high. Couldn't get the foot over it.
The last 3 minutes, their first time in possession, a player down. They've looked dangerous, taking the game to Macarthur. Here's Holman with Clayton Lewis. Davila coming short, looking for the ball. Adamson. This is where they can try and stretch them, make space in midfield. Holman able to turn outside with Adamson. The cutback. Was looking for Davila. It was well played by Clerc. Now Clisby. Well, he's done well there. Jack Clisby, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Well, they're going to have to call on all their reserves, aren't they? His team, Marco Redan, down a man. He's added a lot of energy in that first half, which was an open, flowing game. Warm conditions. Got the backing of the travelling RBB, making it almost feel like a home game for them with the support they're putting on.
Yeah, but we saw Sydney FC do it against Melbourne Victory, didn't we? 10 men against 11. Away from home. Dig in. As here's the ball for Jed Drew. Raphael at the near post. Gemma at the back post. And again, the option is not the good one from Jed Drew as Holman clatters into Hendricks and brings it away. Adamson back outside with Holman. The early cross, it's a nice play. Was right into the perfect area from Holman. And a slipping and sliding. Tate Russell managed to get it clear. Oh, God, 16 minutes without a goal, Macca. At the start of this second half.
Well, there's still been plenty of action now, hasn't there?
It's a different type of match all of a sudden. Clisby, hopeful more than anything for Antonsen. That's unorthodox from Uzcock. There's Robbie Stanton. Newcastle Jets coach watching from the stands. They've got the Western Sydney Wanderers on Sunday at 5 o'clock at Combank Stadium. Then it's the Mariners, Adelaide and Sydney FC for Western Sydney, so some big matches coming up there. For Macarthur, it's Victory in Melbourne next week, then Wellington Phoenix, Robbie Stanton's Jets again at the end of the month, and then Melbourne City, so big matches.
Yeah.
We saw it yesterday with the Mariners, have a huge month coming up. It's going to be a decisive month of February. Lewis with Raphael. Clayton Lewis again. Getting away from Priestman. The cross in. Marcelo clears. Holman. But if they can hold on to the ball, they can get Western Sydney into a defensive mindset where Western Sydney just concentrate on defending. But to do that, you've got to force them back and ideally see if you can't get a goal as well. That's a nice turn from Germain. And you can hear the groans from around the stadium as that one caught Jorrit Hendricks flush.
Oh, yep. Everyone knows that one hurts. He's put his body on the line. It's good movement from Macarthur. Again, Valet-Germain, nice little touch and turn. Got a good strike on the ball.
Well, it's one of the liabilities of playing in the centre of defence. He revealed a couple of months ago, it might have been to Tristan McManus, that his last match for PSV Eindhoven was alongside, well, last match with Marcelo at PSV Eindhoven before Marcelo moved on, was the pair of them in the centre of defence as well. So they have a long history of playing together at the back, those two. Here's Uzcock with Adamson. See Miles Dojovski and his assistant coach there just trying to fine-tune their tactical approach, work out how they can open up 2 blocks of 4. Only Antonsen staying forward now for Western Sydney. Raphael with Clayton Lewis. Here's Uzcock. Adamson. Lewis again. Raphael, play on. Raphael looks up, near post, Davila. Well, it was a tight angle for the header from the little Mexican, but it could have gone in off somebody else behind him.
Neat play on the left-hand side. Raphael, he just guides that ball at the near post, and he just tries to stoop and guide the header towards goal. They were lining up, weren't they, Macarthur? He knows how close that was.
He's looking for his first hat-trick in A-League football. Lewis's ball in, Uzcock. Well, that wasn't far away. Now back in from Holman. And the header. Oh, Lawrence Thomas with a bit of jet lag, perhaps. Almost bounced out of his hands and in.
Well, I'm sure that he probably wasn't expecting to be on the field at any time today. There's his little tester just to wake him up again.
Gabriel Clerc trying to turn inside Uzcock. Strong challenge. Attacking throw, though, for Western Sydney midway through the second half. No change to the half-time score, but that's sending off to Tom Beedling. 7 minutes into the second half for a tackle from behind on Uli Davila. So a couple of changes coming. Now Dylan Shikluna, and an A-League debut for Aidan Hammond preparing to come on. Those changes are going to come now. So Shikluna on for Jorrit Hendricks. Shikluna, it's his 8th appearance of the season, all 8 of them off the bench. And Aidan Hammond, who's a Western Sydney boy. His dad was a footballer who actually played youth football with Harry Kewell. His older brother Tristan is an Australia under-19 international, and he spent nearly his entire youth career with Belenense in Portugal before returning to the Central Coast Mariners last season. And he might yet get a touch inside the box. He's a winger. Actually scored a fantastic goal in a match-winning brace for the Mariners against the Macarthur Bulls Academy last year in the MPL. But he comes from footballing stock. A change now as well for Macarthur. Nicolau coming on to replace Keely Adamson. And the other change is Bernardo for Raphael. 2 sons of Adelaide legends, one replacing the other. Cassio's kid, Bernardo, is looking to make a name for himself at Macarthur FC these days, having only just moved from Adelaide United. Shikluna under pressure. Shikluna is another who spent a lot of time overseas with Aston Villa and then Wolverhampton Wanderers as well, cutting their teeth in the rarefied atmosphere of European youth academies. these Western Sydney Wanderers youngsters. Germain takes it off Holman and fronts up again with Davila. Germain goes again. This is nice football. He got there first, Germain, before going to ground. Referee says play on. Now VAR can yet have a look at it. Now the free kick is given and the Macarthur protests begin in earnest.
Well, Valet Germain feels it was a push. Let's have a look. It was a wonderful ball. I'll tell you what, she could have a point there, really. Wonderful ball from Davila. Look at the run here. Gets across in front. Looks a little bit softer on that angle, doesn't it? The other angle, like the arm did go out into the back. The referees have said, no, let's get on with it.
It did get the check from the VAR. And the all clear. But the action just keeps coming in this one. So he has dropped back oars. Shikluna is caught by Jake Holman. The yellow cards are starting to come now as well.
There was really no need there, was there? There's only going to be one outcome. It was going to be a yellow card.
Second of the match to go with Keely Adamson for the side with the most yellow cards of anyone this season. And that by some distance, more than double the yellow cards of Western Sydney for Macarthur. That's number 42 this campaign for them. The Wanderers today takes them to 20. Brooke wants it on that left foot, goes down. Well, there are going to be roars and cheers for people claiming everything from the terraces now. Because we've had the nervy 20 minutes of the second half, and now we want the ones that make the difference. Any goal now could be enough to win it. Davila finds Nicolaou. Dispossessed, and then he drags back Hammond. Already looking lively. Marcelo. Marcelo screaming at Tate Russell. And taken quickly. The Wanderers, they still want more here. They want that first ever win in Campbelltown. They want to move second on the ladder. They want to overtake Melbourne Victory and join the Mariners. Yellow card for Shikluna.
It was actually a good foul because Holman was away. He just came in on the blind side, and Macarthur were going forward in numbers.
St. Louis. Oh, that's a good ball. They've got their marking wrong here. Davila looks up, drives it in hard. Lawrence Thomas. Oh, and Valer Germain has put a fantastic defensive tackle on his own player, Jake Holman, who was winding up and arriving.
Well, I don't know what he was doing there. The right of way is the player facing the goal.
And they may yet pay even more heavily for that as Western Sydney come again. That bounces off the head of Hammond. Here's Shikluna. Russell. Marcelo. Shikluna again with Priestman. Well, there There are some weary legs out there for Western Sydney, but there are some fresh legs as well. Clisby being closed down, being hunted down by the black and white stripes.
Here's another look as the ball comes out. I don't know what Valer-Germain is doing there. Jay Holman was having a free shot on target about 14, 15 yards out in the middle of the goal, and he's tackled him.
I wonder if that goes down.
Well,
Blocked shot in the stats.
Yep. Add him to the Parapound Plus points for him.
Kurto with Vujitsa. Matt Yerman, he looks long for Jed Drew. Still full of running from the first minute to the 76th in the heat of Southwest Sydney. Jed Drew still. Nicolau. He continues his run. They come inside now. Bernardo. Jed Drew. Well, it wasn't a bad idea perhaps, but he had open space ahead of him if he wanted to get down to the byline. Antonsen, there's no one further forward than him, so he has to look back with Tate Russell. Priestman.
Where you can see Uli Davila imploring his teammates to press on. They've got the numerical advantage.
Oh, and Davila, he almost robbed Gabriel Kleur of the ball. Then he would have been through there. Dylan Shikluna, that's a nice pass for Lockie Brook into space. Antonsen ahead of him. He gets there only just. Shikluna. I think the youngster Aidan Hammond on this left flank may have just picked up a little injury. We'll see here. He wants it back on the right. He gets rid of it. Lockie Brook firing away. Well, that would have stunned Macarthur if Brook, who's also on a hat-trick, had struck then.
Well, I ask you to tell me how this game's going to end up, Robbie. I have no idea. Both teams still creating chances. It is on a knife edge.
And all I am prepared to tell you, Daniel McBreen, is that it's not going to be decided till the final seconds. But I do know. Here's Vujitsa with Holman.
Well, the averages do tell us that Macarthur, there are goals in the last 15 minutes, so if you're a betting man, you would be putting some money on another goal.
Bernardo dispossessed. Antonsen. Oh, he can't find Aidan Hammond. Double change coming for Western Sydney now. Dylan Parias and Zach Sapsford, who we haven't seen since the match against Brisbane back in December, a week after he scored the winner in the Sydney Derby. He comes on looking for an equally important goal here as Antonsen goes off and applauds the travelling supporters. Lockie Brook heads off on the far side of the field, so he will walk past the Wanderers supporters. And that sixth substitution coming for Western Sydney in this second half. 7, actually, well, 6, with the goalkeeping change at half-time, followed by the 5 regular outfield subs because it was a concussion ruling on Daniel Margouche, replaced by Lawrence Thomas. They got the corner. No. Bernardo was trying to take on Jack Clisby. Well, it's hot. They've had to work very, very hard. been an absolutely thrilling match of football, and for those Western Sydney players, it only got all the harder in the 52nd minute when Tom Beadling was sent off. But they've responded well, they've dug in. Zach Sapsford brings them big physical presence up front as well. Clare under pressure. Davila is really looking to be that first line of defence now and constant pressing. Woodcock. Oh, the crowd a little bit frustrated. He has to go back to Philip Curto. He sends it straight into touch. Germain and Davila look a little bit frustrated as the Western Sydney fans do the Poznan. Well, that pass was mishit. It breaks now. Bernardo with Holman. Bernardo goes again. Clare comes across in cover. He just got caught in two minds, I think, Bernardo.
It was just a little overcooked on the pass. And rather than just try to swing the leg at it, he's tried to keep it in. As we come into the last 10 minutes now, I'd like to see Macarthur really back fully Davila's train of thinking. You can see him constantly on the wide angle. Is that he wants his team to press with him. He's constantly saying, come on, get up, man up. We have the number, we need to put the pressure on, apply that pressure higher up.
At the moment, it's been a great match, but you can see there, no change in the standings. Western Sydney 4th, Macarthur 5th. And at the moment, 2 important points dropped. And it may not be a loss at the moment for the Wanderers, but they still can't get that back-to-back wins that they need to keep pace with the Phoenix. Melbourne Victory dropped 2 more points again to a late equaliser. There's Clayton Lewis. It bounces off Uli Davila, but they win it back. And now they've got numbers forward. The defence has to reset. Jed Drew with Vujica. Back they come. Matt Yerman with Holman. With Uzcock. They need movement. They've got just 2 in the box at the moment. There's Bernardo trying to dribble his way through again. It's well defended by Hammond.
Well, it's just a little slow with the ball movement, wasn't it? Holman staying on the ball, just standing, not moving. It's playing into Western Sydney's hands. If you don't move the ball, the defence doesn't have to shuffle. You're not going to create any space. Like you pointed out, Robbie, 2 in the box, but no one really around the edge of the box either to try to get in the little pockets to draw a defensive Western Sydney player out of position and create some space to maybe play a little probing ball. It's just a little slow. It needs to be a little bit quicker. And the positioning of the Macarthur attacking midfield was a little higher into those more dangerous areas. It's going to actually affect the Western Sydney defence.
That's a good ball. In behind for Bernardo. Gabriel Clare was not taking any chances, concedes the corner.
Well, he keeps trying to get in behind, doesn't he, Bernardo? He just can't quite find that one pass that he desires.
Clayton Lewis, he's been threatening with these corners in swingers on the left boot all evening. Uli Davila comes short. Oh, he was looking for Jed Drew. It's picked off. And look out, because Dylan Parias is very, very quick. And it just wouldn't sit for him. Oh, it might yet. No foul. Sapsford was up alongside him.
And I'll tell you what, if he brings that down, Macarthur in trouble, because he is very quick. Nips in there. Just gets in before Vujica, and just there as that bounce back up, he couldn't quite get the ball down.
He's already scored 2 winners this season for the Wanderers. Oh, as Aidan Hammond couldn't quite take it with him. Now Vujica, 5 minutes to go. Bernardo, switch flanks with Drew. Bernardo into the area on that right foot. Davila, no foul, says the referee, as Sapsford went nibbling. And now he looks to run it out. He's got Parias alongside him. That's good play from the front two for Western Sydney. Aidan Hammond now. That's just overhit, can't find the angle. Well, you think Macarthur are the side who should be more likely to score. We've also seen that Western Sydney are not out of this by any stretch. Davila, good challenge. Shikluna, and powerful run out to bring the ball under control. Sapsford now. Well, somehow he's emerged with the ball as well. Only Davila doesn't have much left in the tank. Parias. Sapsford in the middle, Hammond arriving, it's to the near post. Sapsford throws himself to ground under the challenge from Matt Yeoman. They thought there was something in it. Holman now. Well, that's just wasted. Macarthur, you have to say, have not used their extra man advantage yet to any effect whatsoever.
Well, you see there, Yeoman getting the touch.
Nicely done by Hammond. Priestman. Russell. Lockie Brook with the ice on the knees.
Well, they're trying to...
He's only a young man.
...urge their team on. There was some tired legs there.
As we see the Paramount Plus player index, Lockie Brook with the ice on the knees is leading the way, courtesy of his 2 goals and an assist for Western Sydney. Bernardo, Vujica to the back post. Oh, and there's nobody there. It's just overhit. It was a lovely ball. He just popped it up, Vujica. Now Jed Drew. What can he provide? Davila. Bernardo. Gets it out to Clayton Lewis on his left foot. He crosses, back post. And again, it's beyond everyone. Holman can't get there.
Well, they're holding on, Western Sydney, aren't they? And on occasion, look like they might be able to spring something on the counter-attack.
Clayton Lewis is far and away the Macarthur Bull who's seen the most of the football in this one. More touches than any of his teammates. Oh, that's a good pass for Jed Drew from Davila. Drew, oh, he mishit it. He had to go it alone. There was no one in alongside him.
I think that'll be his last touch as Lockie Wales now will enter the fray. You can see he just gets a little too wide there, and it's a rather tired strike at the ball. Just drags it across the face of goal.
L.A. Rose coming on. Lockie Rose, a symbol of Macarthur. He's been here since the very start. He hasn't started a match this season. 9 appearances off the bench. His last A-League goal came back in April of 2023. It came against Western Sydney. And here's Holman with Lockie Rose. Oh, that's come off the hand of Gabriel Clerc. Referee didn't see it. Aidan Hammond. Back. All the Macarthur players asking for the handball. 6 minutes of stoppage time. Holman fouled by Shakluna.
Well, this looked like it clearly came off the hand. No, he got it right off the backside. I think everybody thought at first sighting that came off the arm, but good refereeing.
Optical illusion.
Yeah.
They've got their free kick now, though, from exactly the same spot. Clayton Lewis. Back post. Uzcock back across the face. Holman's there again. Oh, and he snatched at it. The window of opportunity was closing rapidly around him, and he could only blast it high and wide of the mark.
Well, Zapsford had just came out and put enough pressure on, forced him into taking it a little quicker than he would have liked. He had that opportunity earlier to strike from the off the floor in a similar area. Jermaine got in his way on this occasion, just blasted over the bar.
Well, he's trying so hard, Bernardo, I think, to do good there. His brain and ideas was just going about 100 times faster than his legs could move to try and keep that one in play. It's a good run from Tate Russell. Finds Parias in the area, looks up, early cross. Aidan Hammond was there, but Nicolau has front position. It's going to be a throw for Macarthur. 2 minutes into 6 of stoppage time.
Well, you have to give credit to Western Sydney. They haven't just sat back, have they? They have looked on occasion to probe, try to get that winner for themselves.
And now Priestman coming forward again, looking for the option. It's not a bad ball either. That was great vision, just overhit. Here's Tommy Uzcock with Davila. Well, a deflection falls kindly for Germain. He's got options. Vujitsa outside, the first time cross. Germain's there! What a save! Oh my word, the follow-up! He's missed it! But it's in! It counts! Valère Germain has scored! Lawrence Thomas cannot believe it! Macarthur is celebrating! It's another late show. They score goals late. And they have done so again. A 7-goal thriller, which will be checked by VAR, and a first ever A-League hat-trick for Valère Germain, the Frenchman, who did brilliantly in the lead-up, played it wide and got on the end of the cross.
Well, Harvey Norman replay will show Valère Germain again in the heart of it. It's a lovely ball in for Ivan Vujitsa. And you can see there, gee, it is close. I thought that Lawrence Thomas had pulled off the miraculous. It was a deflected header, and he looked like he just batted it away. That is millimetres in that. What a ball from Vujitsa. You can see, well, it actually looks like it comes off the hand.
Handball if it doesn't go
Gabriel
in.
Cleur, yeah.
So I'm sure Lawrence Thomas, well, the goal has been given, I think. Just looking at Lawrence Thomas's reaction. Valère Germain with a hat-trick, 2 headers and a penalty. When we talk about French flair, there's a bit of French grit and determination.
And you said it wouldn't be decided until the final few seconds. Well, what are we, 90 seconds away? Unbelievable. Macarthur, this season, the action always goes till the end. And the drama. And we'll have to get the stills out and the angles and the protractors to make sure it did go over, but it's been given.
An 11th goal in the last 15 minutes of matches for Macarthur. They have done it again. And now can Western Sydney find another one? This is going to be trouble. Well, he stepped on the ball and perhaps that's going to save him. Priestman with the yellow as he lunged into Uli Davila, who's taken another one for the team. Well, look bad.
Well, the audible gasp from Robbie tells you the action is hot here. Yeah, he does get the foot stuck on the ball. He just rolls off it. I think that's a fair call, as Tommy Hillscook has got himself on the sideline in an argument with the whole Western Sydney bench.
Well, these two sides, we already had one match that ended between the Central Coast Mariners and Melbourne City with a little bit of fire in the belly, and a date set and taken for the third meeting. Well, let me just remind you all that these two meet again one more time on the 31st of March 2024 for the decider as it stands. Uli Davila, so often the hero this season for Macarthur. Well, tonight it's Valère Germain with his first hat-trick in A-League football. Western Sydney cannot believe it. They fell behind early, they came back to lead. They've played nearly all of the second half with 10 men. And now, can they find one last opportunity? Sapsford gives chase against Yeoman. We're into the 8th minute of stoppage time. Jack Clisby. Hammond comes short and turns. Aidan Hammond looks up, crosses into the area. Curto with the punch. And that is that. It's a thrilling victory for Macarthur FC by 4 goals to 3. They left it late yet again. Mile Sturjovski's side jump over their beaten opposition of the day. Marco Rudan wants to have words with Adam Kersey. He's got a yellow card for his troubles. The Western Sydney bench have come as well to remonstrate. They don't think that ball crossed the line. Mind you, it did look as though it came off Gabriel Cleur's hand off the head. Marco Rudan can be pleased with the spirit, the organisation, the discipline his team showed in that second half. But in the end, it's Macarthur who have the last laugh at home. They are still unbeaten at Campbelltown Stadium against their cross-city rivals. They have prevailed in a thriller, dramatic match of football to round out week 15 by 4 goals to 3.
On Sunday, February 18, we're back at Campbelltown Sports Stadium as our Macarthur FC hosts the Wellington Phoenix at 5 p.m. for round 17 of the Isuzu Ute at the Bank. Get your tickets now via macarthurfc.com.au.
Yes, he is, guys. Valère, it's very loud in here, and my accent is very strong, so I'll speak slowly. That game of football had everything, but most importantly, it had 3 goals for you and 3 points for Macarthur.
Yeah, most important was 3 points. We lost so many points at the end of the game during the season, so finally it's good to win a game at the end. It was important for us to win. We need to continue to improve, but we want to play the playoff this season, so it was very important for us tonight.
It was a very physical game all over the park. A lot of people had their hearts in their mouths in the first half, which is yourself, I'd imagine, as well. Was there any moment within that you thought maybe a red card might come out?
You know, it's a derby. It's like everywhere in France. I play many derby, so it's always an aggressive game. But it's like, it's normal. It's contact sport, you know. So after the game, we check each other and it's finished. And so it was a hard game, difficult game, but finally we won. So it's good for us.
And you've been unbeaten since you played these guys in Combank. How important is it to get another win on the board and that extra bit special that it was against your rivals?
We played against them 1 month ago, and it was also the same game. We spoke just before the game, just before to come on the pitch. To say tonight it's a special game for us, for all the fans, so we need to give 100% to win. That's what we did, so it's perfect for us.
Congratulations tonight.
Thank you.
Go and get a towel.
Ford takes over, still going, what a run, brilliant individual goal. Fowler, it opens up for the shot, oh, Mary Fowler, what a goal. They're queuing up in the middle, Carpenter, who sets the bar so high for the Matildas.
Mile, fascinating game. It